See, I'm taking the piss, but that's because, people always take the piss out of me because I'm an alcoholic. I am. And I've been an alcoholic for a long time. When I met my wife, she knew by then I was an alcoholic. In fact, when we first went out, she used to bring me breakfast in bed in an ice bucket with the cork out. But after a while, she decided she wanted to help me, and so she arranged for me to pick her up from work. Key backstory: in those days, my wife was working as a receptionist in the A&E department in Arrow Park Hospital over on the Wirral. If there are any single lads here, if you get a chance to go out with anyone who works in A&E, do so, because one, nothing shocks them. And two, they never run out of funny stories. Usually about blokes who've walked into A&E with something ridiculous shoved up their arse. Yeah, you've been here before. Yeah. The first story she told me about was a guy who had a baked bean can stuck up himself, and I assumed she meant like a single man's, like a 125 gram happy shopper, single widower, child molester, psychotic kind of, but no, it was an entire can of baked beans. I mean, he was obviously a family man. The second story she told me was a guy who had put a flute up himself. Flutes are expensive, so either he was like really willing to spend a lot of money, or he was a madly overambitious one-man band. I never did find out. But my favourite one is the guy who had a pineapple wedged up himself. An entire pineapple, ladies and gentlemen. Now that's ambition. Good man, him. He's a better man than I am. And a wider one. But yeah, so what that taught me most of all was respect for my wife's professionalism, because I couldn't do that. If some bloke came up to me behind a reception desk and went, with the leaves trailing along the floor, like, "Excuse me, love, I think I need a doctor." Yeah, no worries, mate. Just a couple of routine questions. Are you getting your 5 a day? Tracy, have we got anything for a pineapple up the arse? Nice piece of gammon in the cafeteria. I used to call that the pineapple Brexit story, on account of, nobody's saying don't stick a pineapple up your arse, but if you do, for fuck's sake, have a plan to get it out again. Christ almighty. But yeah, so she took me to A&E because she wanted me to meet this particular character. And he was one of the A&E's regulars, and there was nothing wrong with him physically. He was just a catastrophic alcoholic, and he'd go on the lash all day, and then he'd go to A&E and sit there of an evening. And she introduced me to this fella, and he looked an awful lot like you'd expect, ladies and gentlemen, from that brief CV. He had long hair and a matted beard with stains in it, and he had dirty fingers and cracked fingernails, and he was in like a long, shapeless Mac duffel coat kind of thing, and he just like you, mate, just like you. And he stank, ladies and gentlemen. He absolutely stank, and part of the reason he stank is because he was sat in a puddle of his own urine. So I wouldn't lean that close to him if I were you, look. He was sat in a puddle of his own urine, ladies and gentlemen, and one of the kind nurses had bought him a chocolate bar from a vending machine, and he was sat there nibbling on this chocolate bar in a puddle of his own piss. And I kid you not, ladies and gentlemen, he was the happiest man in that entire waiting room. He was looking at all the fucking idiots who've maimed themselves and going, "You've broke your leg, but I'm pissed. And I've got a boost." Now bring me the paper knickers. So, you know, I've lost an awful lot to my alcoholism. I've lost relationships, girlfriends, I've lost jobs. I've got a criminal record. This is true. Yeah. Doesn't go with the voice, does it? But yes, I've got a criminal record. It's not even for white-collar crime. I don't know what I was thinking. So the alcohol's cost me all that. But I have to say, you know, if you were to say to me at the bar after this, good job, have a pint, I'd turn you down flat. No, thank you, very kind. I don't want to drink. But, ladies and gentlemen, if you were to offer me the choice between an alcoholic beverage and a whole pineapple up the arse, then all I could say to you, ladies and gentlemen, would be, well, bottoms up.